The night Ayan moved into apartment 407, the sky looked unnatural. Thick clouds hung motionless, swallowing the moon in a way that made the entire city feel hollow. As he climbed the rusted staircase, every bulb flickered in a strange rhythm, 3 fast blinks, 1 slow, almost like the building itself was trying to warn him. A cold, metallic smell drifted through the hallway, sharp enough to sting his nose, carrying hints of wet earth and dried blood. Behind him, heavy footsteps echoed up the stairs, slow and dragging, but every time he turned, the corridor was empty. The air felt aware, as though invisible eyes watched every move he made. When he finally slid the key into his new apartment door, the building suddenly went silent, holding its breath as he stepped inside. The apartment was small, dim, and colder than it should have been. But what captured his attention immediately was a narrow wooden door on the far wall. It wasn't on the building map, and someone had scratched an uneven number into the surface, 408. The wood looked rotten, but the scratches were fresh, like they had just been carved minutes before he arrived. He shrugged it off as some weird construction mistake and went to unpack. By midnight, Ayan lay on the thin mattress, trying to sleep, when a soft sound echoed across the room, slow, deliberate scratching coming from behind the door to 408. At first, he tried to ignore it, assuming it was rats, but the scratching grew sharper, turning into frantic clawing like something was desperately trying to escape. His heart hammered as he moved closer. The moment his hand touched the door, the scratching stopped. Silence drowned the room. Then a whisper seeped through the cracks, so faint it sounded like a breath, but clear enough to freeze the blood in his veins. "Let me out." Ayan stumbled back, staring at the door. His phone flashlight revealed new gouges in the wood, deep, jagged marks that hadn't been there before. He tried calling the building manager, but his phone repeatedly lost signal whenever he stood near the door, as if the room itself blocked every attempt at reaching the outside world. The next night, the noises returned, this time louder, more violent. Footsteps paced behind the thin door, too heavy to belong to any animal. Something thumped against the wood, slow at first, then with increasing force, shaking the entire apartment. Ayan refused to go near it, instead barricading the door with a chair. At 3:12 a.m., everything abruptly went quiet. The stillness was worse than the noise. It felt deliberate, like the thing behind the door was listening for him. Then the doorknob began to turn. Not fast, slow, controlled. The chair legs screeched across the floor as the pressure from the other side pushed it away like it weighed nothing. The door creaked open just an inch, and through the small gap, a pale hand slid out, long fingers, cracked skin, and nails broken down to the flesh. Ayan froze. The whisper that followed didn't come from behind the door this time. It came from right behind his ear. "I'm already out." The lights flickered violently as a shadow slithered out of the door, crawling up the walls, its limbs bending in unnatural angles. It moved across the ceiling toward him with the hunger of something that had waited years to be freed. The last thing Ayan saw was its face, if it could be called that, forming in the darkness, stretching into a wide, unnatural grin. Then the room went pitch black, and the building finally exhaled, as if relieved that the thing locked in 408 had found someone new to follow.